The Habs defeat the Leafs, and it's Cole Caulfield picking up his second overtime game-winning goal in as many games. I'm back, baby, and we got a lot to talk about. Woo! Glad to be back with you guys. It's been a while, but I'm pleased to inform you that Mama and baby are happy and healthy, and we are home. And yes, my newborn son's name is Cole. Now, don't get the wrong idea here. I did not name my son after Cole Caulfield. I'm not that much of a nerd. Just me and my wife found it really, really difficult to name both of our sons, honestly, more so than our firstborn daughter. I don't know why that was, but we're going through names over and over, and eventually she landed on Cole. And I mean, I knew who was in the HABS pipeline. I wasn't going to say no to that. But the other thing, too, is Cole actually goes really well with his middle name, which is Caulfield. Woo! No, but seriously, it's good to be back, and let's get into these games because I missed some really, really good ones. Big win tonight, first of all, against the Leafs, so I was glad to get home and be able to watch that one start to finish, throughout some diaper changes, and getting puked on a little bit here and there. But what a great game tonight. But first, let's quickly touch on what I missed. The Habs lost to the Leafs last week 4-2, and that was kind of a weird game. I mean, Montreal did not play awful, but they didn't play good either. And then the Leafs, they didn't play great, but they didn't play bad. It was just kind of a perfect recipe for the Habs to lose against the Leafs. Wasn't the most exciting game. It's like it almost felt like both teams weren't up for it, and you know the Leafs' talent just won out on that night. And that goal Matthews scored, Foligno putting it into the middle of the ice with the sauce pass, and Suzuki there thinking he's making a good defensive play, cutting off the pass, and then somehow Matthews crosses it into the net. That was some serious skill. That's the only memory I have of that game at this point. Wasn't too entertained by that game as a whole, to be honest. And you know what? That game really could have been a momentum killer, a morale killer for this team, and started off what could have been a really bad slump, heading into some tough games. But you have to say it, this team's resiliency has been consistent throughout the season. They've faced quite a few slumps, lots of adversity, but the messaging from the players has been the same. And then we kind of saw that play out in the next few games here. First, against the Winnipeg Jets, they go down a couple goals against them and manage to fight back and win and defeat them 5-3. And that was a big one considering we are chasing them in the standings for that third spot and to avoid facing the Leafs in the first round, which I'll touch on later on. I want the Leafs in the first round, which would mean we'd have to finish fourth and see not the greatest hockey to close out the season, but I want to see the Leafs Habs in round one, at the very least in these playoffs. But I just want to just continue their slump and just play spoiler for the. We'll get into it. So they beat the Jets in that one 5-3, and you know, one of the main things I have to point out here is I'm going through the highlights and you know, watching the condensed game. Jake Evans back into the lineup. I mean, he offers so much in terms of the transition through the neutral zone, the speed he can bring. He just makes quick decisions, and he makes the right decisions as well. He's got some underrated offensive skills, and I think we're going to see this kid continue to grow at the NHL level. The play that he made that eventually led to Arturi Lehkonen sniping it on Connor Hellebuck was a beauty. Where is that from Lek? I mean, that was a beautiful release on him that I'd love to see more often. He just has to hone in that skill a little bit more. And I love the chemistry that his line is developing with Evans and Mr. Cole Caulfield. Then the Habs go on to face the Senators, and again, down 2 goals. And in both these games, Jets and Sens, it seemed to me like Montreal was taking it to them 5-on-5, sustained ozone pressure, tons of high danger chances, but just could not bury the puck. And then our opponents come down and end up scoring and getting leads in a game that they really shouldn't have been in at that point. So it was good to see in both circumstances the Habs fight back and manage to get back in the game, and not only that, win these games. Really, really impressive showings from the Habs, and the tying goal from Jeff Petrie against the Senators. I mean, walking into the middle like that, selling the shot, and the just beautiful snipe on Gustafsson. That was impressive. I mean, Petrie took, I don't know, a 6-week vacation or something, but he is back and looking real strong out there, looking real confident with the puck again, skating up the ice. And a Habs D in general being able to transition a lot better these last few games is a game changer for this team. In today's NHL, you need defensemen who can transition, so it's good to see Jeff Petrie leading the way in getting that aspect of the Habs game going again. And then it was Cole Caulfield with his first NHL goal. and the game winner to complete the comeback against the Ottawa Senators. And this was after Jeff Petrie reset the play, carried it out, really opened up that the slot area for Cole to just skate right into. And he identified that area of the ice and saw the Senators defender not paying attention and just put on the Jets and got there to finish off the play. What a beautiful goal for your first in the NHL. Now that's enough about the past. Let's talk about what happened tonight. The Habs come back again, this time against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and beat them 3-2 in overtime. Mwah! Doesn't that taste good? That puts Montreal's record at 24-18-9 on the season. Good enough to now be tied with the Winnipeg Jets for third in this Canadian division. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out to the end here and who we will be facing in the playoffs. But with this win against the Leafs tonight, that puts our record to 3-4-1 against them on the season. Would love to even that up before this regular season closes out and we get the chance to do that. We got 2 more games against them approaching very quickly. But before then, it's the Ottawa Senators on Wednesday night, and that's going to be a tough one. Our last matchup against them this season, they're probably going to be looking to make a statement because they are going to be coming in hot next season. I'm very impressed with the Ottawa Senators season, but you're not here for me to talk about them. Let's get into the game tonight. It started off with Morgan Rielly getting a kind of a floater goal from the point. Unfortunate to see that one go in because the Habs started really strong tonight. A couple different high danger chances, to Foley getting one of them, but it's Rielly with the wide shot from the point. It beats Allen, and it's Galchenyuk and Nylander picking up assists on that one. Great first period, back and forth. Both teams traded chances. Both goalies looking real strong in there. Jack Campbell, ton of clutch saves, and as well Jake Allen coming in big for the Habs too, stopping a breakaway in that first. We go into the second. Tyler Toffoli picks up the tying goal, assisted by Suzuki and Petrie. On the power play, which is looking really good lately, and a big reason for that is the chemistry developing between Nick Suzuki and Tyler Toffoli. We saw this game tonight, and then another one the other night as well with Suzuki's beautiful sauce pass into the slot over to Toffoli, and he made no mistake finishing that one. But tonight, it's a great seam pass, which we're not used to seeing through the slot from this team. And Suzuki finds Toffoli, and again, making no mistake, finishing it for his 28th on the season, playing at nearly a 50-goal pace this year. Tyler Toffoli, it is unbelievable. Petrie picks up an assist on this one as well. Then we see Austin Matthews tied up for the Habs in front of the net. It's Muzzin gets the shot from the point, and Matthews with that nice tip beating Jake Allen, and he's tied up slightly with Joel Edmondson in front of the net. But I would really like to see Joel Edmondson. You got a chance there to play rough against Matthews. Take it, get your licks in. Try to take a bit off the guy. If he's going to play in front of the slot like that, don't make it easy on him. Push him, cross-check him, do what you got to do. A little soft from Joel Edmondson there, but nonetheless, it's a skill play for Matthews, picking up the goal, and he was pretty hyped. And Jake Muzzin with the assist as well as Joe Thornton on that one. Then we go into the third, and another really great period, both teams. I mean, this game in general, I think I'd love to see more games like this than what we did, a few nights ago when it was Habs Leafs. And I would have said that regardless of the win by the Habs tonight. I thought it was a really, really entertaining game, despite it being a low-scoring game. Both teams had a ton of chances, and the goalies put on a serious show. I mean, especially Jack Campbell. He made some insane desperation saves for the Leafs. That blocker save he made, I can't recall who it was on at the moment here, but that was a beautiful, beautiful one. But late in the third, it's Phil Deneau after Alex Burrows draws up a play, and I'm not sure if that's exactly what he drew up, but I mean, credit where it's due. They call the timeout with a minute left, win the draw, cycle it around, and Phil Deneau ends up potting it, and Suzuki and Petrie again with the assist. They pick up assists on all 3 goals tonight, including Cole Caulfield's game winner, which was an absolute beauty. I mean, that angle that puck went at after he shot it, it's going the opposite direction that you'd think his body weight would be going. For him as a right-hander to skate into it like that, and then it's just unbelievable. The kid is something special, clearly has a knack for the net, knows how to score goals. And like I said, again, it's Suzuki and Petrie picking up the assists on this one as well. But before that, we saw Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner come down on a 2-on-0 and somehow not bury it. These are 2 of the best players in the game, just like McDavid and Draisaitl did against Jake Allen as well a couple weeks ago. Kind of weird that that's played out that way, but I mean, guys, that is just brutal. Don't overthink it. Shoot the puck. Man. Oh, it's hilarious. Some stats on the night. 29-23 shots for the Leafs. Montreal bested them in the faceoff dot tonight, which you love to see. Big reason for that is Phil Deneau obviously doing his thing out there. Eric Stahl has been huge for us in the dot. Jake Evans coming around as well. And even Suzuki getting a few here and there. But 52% on the night for the Habs. 1 for 4 on the power play. And like I mentioned, it's looking a lot better lately. I mean, the Habs are dealing with some injury woes right now. You got Gallagher out, Weber out, Drouin gone, as well as Thomas Tatar. And the coaching staff has been kind of forced to put guys on the power play who might not normally be there. I'm looking at Alexander Romanov, quarterback in the power play right now, and looking real good at it. I mean, other than the flub to Mitch Marner, which led to a breakaway, but he just looks good at the top of the umbrella up there and just directing traffic. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping once some of these guys come back and are healthy, hopefully the coaching staff has seen enough of how this power play has improved to keep some of these guys in the roles that they're in currently. It just seems like they're moving their feet more. They're not static. They're not always in the same place. They're trying those cross seam passes and it's working. It's opening up space. They're really, they're working it down low as well. They're just doing all the things that we've been wanting them to do all season. To see it all coming together now is truly something special. Now, like I mentioned, we're dealing with those injuries, and something that's been mentioned a lot is this team better without their captain Shea Weber? I mean, I get the argument because he goes down and the D are transitioning the puck a lot better. The power play looks a lot better. So I get it. I do get it. Now, that being said, we now know Shea Weber has been playing with an injury. And the other thing, too, is are we better without Brendan Gallagher? Are we better without Jonathan Drouin? And are we better without Thomas Tatar? I think a lot of us would say no to that. And I think in reality, we are not. And I'm not about to write off Shea, our captain, the guy that this team talks very highly of. Now, can he be better? Of course. He has struggled a lot this season, been fairly inconsistent at points, and to see how the team has played without him is kind of telling. Now, that being said, I think the coaching staff can do a lot better putting players in roles where they can succeed. I mean, when Weber comes back, why don't we, especially if it's during the regular season, play him on the third pair with Brett Kulak, who he's had success with, in the past, in, short stints here and there. I think those two complement each other very well, especially when you're seeing how well Ben Sherrod is playing with Alexander Romanov, a young, mobile defenseman who makes quick decisions, and it allows Ben to be a little bit more mobile as well. So what I'll say is it's good problems to have. We have this many injuries, and this team is managing to have success. That's the main thing we need to focus on here. The penalty kill, 3 for 3 on the night. Always good to see that, especially against a team like the Leafs with all that talent. 30-19 hits for the Habs. They absolutely beat up on the Leafs tonight in the corners, and a big reason for that is Josh Anderson laying the body tonight, as he always does. Montreal with 23 blocks on the night. Good to see the team sacrificing the body. Phil Deneau, the most used center tonight with 21 minutes and 39 seconds, and he gets the clutch tying goal as well, wearing that A on his jersey after he took some shade the other night because Josh Anderson wore it over him against the Ottawa Senators. I mean, some of the stuff the media comes up with in Montreal is just unbelievable. The Habs' most used defenseman, Jeff Petrie, with 27 minutes to go along with his 3 assists on the night. Just great game from him as well. Jake Allen, 27 for 29 for the .931 save percentage, and he's done a fantastic job filling in for Price while he is injured. Before I get into the last subject of this video here, who I'd rather see the Habs face in the playoffs, just got to mention, TJ Brodie got an absolutely disgusting slash in on Jesperi Kotkaniemi at the end of this game. Habs are on the power play. All Kotkaniemi did was challenge him twice offensively and got the chance both times. So Brodie was clearly frustrated at a 20-year-old kid and two-hands him in the shin. And the ref standing right there misses it. Just absolutely greasy. You got to think there's a fine coming for that one. Could have injured the kid. Just because he's pissed off he got beat. It's, it's Bush League stuff. Big time Bush League. And coming from a guy like TJ Brodie, a vet in this league, yeah, that's disappointing to say the least. Now the Habs tied for third in this Canadian division. I mean, who would have thought? But the Jets on a massive losing skid right now, dropping 7 in a row, including tonight against the Ottawa Senators, just playing spoiler for everybody. And that's tough for them, especially with the Habs on a roll, coming from behind and now putting themselves back in this race. And if we happen to stay in third place, we'll have to see how this plays out. That would mean we'd face the Oilers in the first round of the playoffs. And maybe we match up against them quite well, considering how we've played them this whole season. One of the only teams who've actually been able to shut down McDavid and Draisaitl. But I still want the Leafs. I do. I've not only because I just want to see this matchup and I think it's great for the rivalry, it's great for hockey, but most importantly, I think we match up against the Leafs well. I do, and I am not going to back down from my take that this team could knock the Leafs out of the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, the Leafs would be the favorite. Yes, they would be. They're an absolute powerhouse this year. They don't have many weaknesses. They actually can defend now. Jack Campbell in net has been an absolute stud. But at the same time, if Anderson gets healthy, you have a potential goalie controversy that could brew at any time. All it takes is one loss in the playoffs. The media is going to go nuts. So then you got that aspect to it. Also, the curse, the pressure that the Leafs will be under to actually win in the first round. You know, you get ahead on this team. That's all they're going to be thinking about. And the last thing they're going to want to do is drop one to the Habs. This Leafs team is going to be under an insane amount of pressure. They are this season to win. They are a win now team. That is how they're built. They need to go on a run this year, no question. Now, as for the Habs, as much as they want to win now as well, they're also a team that's building and will continuously be getting better. So all the pressure is on the Leafs, who will be the favorite. Habs will be the clear underdog. I mean, for me, it's win-win for the Habs in this series. They either win the series, pull off an amazing upset, and then potentially go on a big run, or they lose to a team that everyone will be expecting them to lose to, except themselves. I know this Habs team is confident that they could beat out the Leafs, but if they happen to get knocked out, then they leave and come back next season absolutely fired up, ready to go to take over this rivalry. I mean, to me, the Leafs are the absolute perfect matchup in these playoffs for the Habs, especially if we get healthy, get Gallagher back, get Tatar back, maybe get Drouin back, but that's a tough one. Wouldn't be surprised to see him be done for the season. It's unfortunate what has happened there. I don't want to make assumptions. But, the kid's under a lot of pressure, being a high pick, being French, playing in Montreal, hasn't quite panned out to be the superstar that many expected him to be to this point. I'm hoping that, it's a blessing in disguise that Dom's his coach right now, and it's, works out in the end, that it's a good decision for him to take some time off. And, never know, maybe he'll come back even stronger in the end. Now, I've criticized Drouin. I'm not going to hide behind that, but I've also been a massive supporter of him as well. I think criticism is definitely deserved. He's an NHL player. He should be able to take it. But there's been a lot of, kind of awful stuff going around in this fan base, in the media especially. They're really difficult on him. But in the end, I hope he's fine. I'm a massive Drouin fan and would love to see his career truly blossom in Montreal, when and if he comes back. So all the best to Jonathan Drouin. That's about it. Tried to touch on absolutely everything. I had to rely on highlights for the Jets and the Sens game. So let me know if I missed anything down in the comments. And let me know if you disagree or agree with anything I said in this video. As always, down in that comment section, get in on the discussion. And hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy these videos. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go, baby. Woo! I'm fucking nervous to make noise with this newborn in the next room, man. Gotta commit. He's gotta get used to living in this household.